Imagine standing at the edge of the world, not a metaphor, a real edge. The ground beneath your feet stops, and beyond it, nothing but endless blue. For thousands of generations, your ancestors looked at the ocean and saw something impossible. A wall, a boundary, a place where the world simply ended. But one day, someone asked a terrifying question. What if we went out there? The ocean was death. Every tribe knew this. Water meant drowning. Water meant invisible monsters. Water meant never coming home. But here's what makes ancient humans so strange. Even when something terrified them, they couldn't stop looking at it. And scientists have discovered something surprising about those first shoreline people. Their bones tell a weird story. They weren't avoiding the water. They were learning its secrets. But there was a problem. The ocean doesn't give without taking. Every time someone entered the water, something watched them. Something with teeth. Something ancient humans couldn't even name because they had no word for what lurked beneath. The first sailors weren't brave because they wanted to be. They were brave because staying on land was becoming impossible. What happened next shocked researchers because the first boat wasn't a boat at all. It was a mistake, a fallen tree, a flood, a desperate tribe clinging to anything that floated. But someone noticed something strange. The log didn't sink. The log moved with the water instead of fighting it. And in that moment, a prehistoric human had an idea that would change everything. What if we tied several logs together? The first raft was unstable. It flipped constantly. People died. But here's what makes this story so human. Every time someone died, the survivors didn't give up. They got angry. They got curious. They asked better questions. Why did it flip? How do we make it stop flipping? What happens if we make it longer instead of wider? Each death produced a better boat. Each failure produced more knowledge. And then something incredible happened. Scientists discovered something surprising about the first sailors. They weren't warriors, they weren't explorers. They were desperate families running from something worse than water. Volcanoes, drought, enemies, starvation. The ocean wasn't an adventure, it was the least terrible option. And that's the truth about almost every human first. We don't explore because we're brave, we explore because staying home became more terrifying than the unknown. The real danger wasn't what they expected, not drowning, not monsters, something worse, something modern sailors still fear today. Open water does something strange to the human mind. When you can't see land in any direction, your brain stops trusting reality. The horizon disappears, up and down become confusing, and ancient humans had no maps, no compasses, no stars to follow if clouds appeared. They were completely alone in a circle of blue that stretched forever. But here's what made ancient humans different from us. They couldn't call for help. They couldn't check GPS. They couldn't do anything except keep going or die. And that's exactly what they did. They kept going for days, sometimes weeks. Scientists have found evidence of prehistoric sea voyages that crossed hundreds of miles of open ocean, with nothing but logs and vines, and somehow they survived. What happened next is almost too strange to believe. The survivors didn't turn back. They kept going, not because they wanted to, because they couldn't find land behind them either. They were stuck in the middle, with no choice but forward, and that's when they saw it. A change in the water, a different color, birds flying in a straight line, clouds gathering over something that wasn't open ocean. Land, they had done it. Humans had sailed into the unknown and found something on the other side. But here's the revelation that changed everything. They weren't the first ones there. Someone else had arrived before them. Someone older, someone who left footprints in the same sand. And those footprints tell us something shocking about human nature. We didn't learn to sail once. We learned to sail hundreds of times, in dozens of places, by thousands of different people who never met each other. The first sailors didn't conquer the ocean, they survived it, and in surviving, they became something new. Their brains changed, their eyes changed, their children grew up knowing the sea as a road instead of a wall. Within a few generations, those first terrified passengers had become a different kind of human. a kind that looked at the horizon and saw possibility instead of death. Every human alive today who lives near water, every person who has ever taken a boat, every child who has looked at the ocean and wondered what's on the other side, they owe something to those first terrified sailors. Not technology, not maps, something deeper. They owe the knowledge that the unknown can be survived, that fear is not a stop sign, that humans can go places nothing has ever gone before and build a home there. The ocean never stopped being dangerous. It still isn't. But danger and impossible are not the same thing. Those first sailors proved that with nothing but logs and desperation and a question someone was brave enough to ask, what if we went out there? And the answer, it turns out, was everything. Every island ever discovered, every civilization ever born across water. Every human who ever looked back at their old life and kept moving forward. Anyway, we are all descendants of the ones who did not turn back, but something strange happened on those first voyages, something the survivors never talked about, something scientists only discovered recently by analyzing ancient oral traditions. The sailors heard things, voices, songs, whispers coming from beneath the waves. And here's the terrifying part. They weren't hallucinating. The ocean was alive, not just with fish, with voices, with creatures so large they couldn't comprehend them. Ancient humans had no word for whale, no concept of something that big living beneath them. So they created stories, monsters, gods, spirits that demanded respect. And in those stories they encoded survival knowledge. But the ocean had other dangers. Dangers that didn't roar or sing. Dangers that arrived silently. One day everything was fine. The next day the water stopped moving, completely, still as stone, and the sailors realized they were trapped. The first sailors didn't just fight the ocean. They fought the sun, they fought thirst, they fought their own bodies failing them. And here's the truth modern researchers discovered. Most voyages failed. Most rafts never reached anywhere. Most bodies were never found. But the successful ones, they succeeded because someone refused to let anyone else die. When they finally reached land, something unexpected happened. They didn't celebrate, they collapsed. They kissed the ground, they cried. And then they looked around and realized this place was already home to something else. Not people, something older, giant birds, strange trees, animals that had never seen humans before and didn't know to be afraid. This moment changed everything. Because the first sailors realized something profound. The unknown wasn't just dangerous, it was full of surprises, beautiful surprises, creatures and plants and sights no human had ever seen. And that discovery created something new in the human mind. A hunger for more, a craving for the next horizon. But scientists found something even more surprising. The first sailors didn't just find new land, they found new people. Other humans who had sailed from completely different directions, different continents, different journeys. And when they met, they didn't fight, they traded, they shared, they told stories. The ocean didn't separate humans, it connected them. Every island became a stepping stone, every voyage became a conversation, and over thousands of years, those first terrified sailors created something beautiful. A web of human knowledge stretching across the largest ocean on Earth, all of it built by people who refused to stay where they were born. We think we're so different from them. We have satellites, GPS, weather forecasts, coast guards, but the emotion is exactly the same. When you stand at the edge of the ocean today, your heart beats the same way theirs did. Your mind asks the same question, what's out there? And that question right there is what makes us human. So here's the final truth. The first sailors didn't just discover new lands. They discovered something inside themselves, a capacity to face the unknown and keep going, a refusal to accept the horizon as the end of the world. And that discovery, more than any island or continent, changed humanity forever. They left footprints on islands that no human had ever touched. They left stories that still echo in our languages. They left bones that scientists study in laboratories. But most of all, they left a message, written not in words, written in DNA, written in the the fact that you exist, that I exist. That anyone reading this or watching this or wondering about their own unknown is still carrying that first sailor's question in their blood. The ocean is still out there, still vast, still mysterious, still capable of swallowing everything we build and forgetting we ever existed. But we're not afraid anymore, not really, because we know something the first sailors discovered. The unknown is not empty, it's waiting, it's full of possibility. It's the place where all our futures live. There is one last thing, something scientists discovered that changes everything about this story. They found ancient human remains on islands that could only have been reached by crossing thousands of miles of open ocean. But here's the shock. The voyagers who made those trips didn't have metal, they didn't have maps, they didn't have writing, they only had their minds. And their minds were brilliant enough to read the ocean like we read a book. They saw patterns we still don't fully understand. They predicted weather we still can't predict perfectly. They were geniuses, and we forgot that about them. So when we ask what happened when humans first sailed into the unknown, the answer is simple. They became us. Every adventure you've ever taken, every risk you've ever accepted, every moment you chose forward instead of back, that's them, that's you. That's the same human decision made over and over again since the first time someone looked at the ocean and said, I'm going out there. The first sailors didn't conquer the ocean, they joined it. They became part of something older than humanity, something that has been moving and breathing and creating for billions of years. And in joining it, they became immortal. Their bodies are gone, but their courage lives in every child who takes a first step, every student who asks a difficult question, every person who chooses to leave what they know and find something new. The unknown is still out there. It always will be. And so will we. Every human alive today is the descendant of someone who looked at the impossible and walked into it anyway. Not because they were special, not because they were chosen, because they had no choice. And in having no choice, they made a choice that changed everything. They chose to keep going, and that choice made us who we are. A species that looks at the unknown and says, what's on the other side? A species that builds rafts and ships and rockets to find out. A species that will never stop.